What it do, Nick Nation, KOD Nation, stand up, and all you DJs, wake up and get your coffee. Welcome to another episode of the Knicks Morning Brew. It's your guy Hector, chilling with my bro Filippo. What is good, baby?
What up, baby boy? I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling in a hotel room right now in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So ain't got no coffee, got nothing. So you're gonna have to be my energy this morning, brother. You're gonna have to wake me up.
I got you, bro.
So.
I got you, bro. Well, see, it's nice to get out the house sometimes, and I know you're out there working, but at the same time, be able to enjoy that hotel. Get yourself some room service, order some chicken tendies for your boy.
Honestly, that's like the only safe thing on a hotel menu, no matter where I go, is like play it safe, get some chicken tenders. They can't mess that up too bad. So
some chicken nuggets and chicken tendies is the easiest thing to get at a hotel. But bro, our team, bro, we are. What are? I don't even know what to call us. Are we dog doodoo? What is it, Phil? You let me know, bro, because I'm at a loss of words right now.
I feel like we are that kid who is leaving middle school because he didn't have like a good 3 years in middle school, and he's looking forward to high school, but he's also terrified because he knows he might be the same kid in high school. He knows that he might not be able to sit at the cool kids table. He knows that he might get stuff back in his locker. Like, that's how we are as a team. We don't want to be who we've been in our middle school years, and our high school years have potential, but we also know that right now, the way things are looking, we could be the same person that we were in middle school. And that's terrifying as a Knicks fan.
Yeah, bro. When it comes to that, this team is a void of everything. We are a void of leadership. We are a void of a superstar. In the NBA, where it's a superstar-driven league, it's just we don't even know what's this team identity is right now at this point. There's, Knicks fans and pundits are saying how RJ Barrett is holding us back. Julius Randle is holding us back. I just don't know where to go with this team. Where do we go from here? Because it seems like we're going to have to hit that reset button real soon.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man, is I understand it's a star league. Most teams, that's a tried and true answer. However, you look at one of the teams that's leading the league right now, the Jazz, and it was a whole bunch of players that weren't getting any shine on other teams that all got sent to Utah and are all of a sudden this incredible team. And I think it comes down to
they do have that superstar. I'm sorry to cut you off, Phil, but they do have that superstar in Donovan Mitchell, and that's the one thing we do not have.
No, that's the Cavs. We do not
have that ace. Oh yeah, that's the Cavs. I'm sorry, my apology. Yeah, that's my apology.
I'm talking about the Jazz.
That's how stuck I am this morning. The Jazz.
Yeah, you pick up Colby White and stuff like that. I think Colin Sexton. That other teams were just trying to ditch off. He's not what we thought he was going to be, and now he's on this Utah team that's one of the best in the league right now. And so I think it comes down to coaching because we have good pieces, but you get a whole bunch of good pieces. Like, I love steak. Give me a steak anytime. I love ice cream. Give me ice cream anytime. I love Fig Newtons. Give me that anytime. I love, I love pork chop. All that stuff. You throw it all on the same plate without any direction, whatever. It's not going to be the deliciousness that each thing is individually. You need a chef that's going to be able to be like, oh, this is what would work. Not the whole thing of the Fig Newton, but a little bit of the fig on the side of a steak would be delicious. So we don't have anybody at all to kind of guide the plates that we're putting out, and everything we're putting out is getting sent back to the kitchen by other teams. It's insane.
Yeah. I want to shout out the chat real quick. Of course, my brother DSJ is in the building. He said, I'm here to remind you of my new slogan. We deserve better. DSJ, absolutely right. And shout out, good morning to my guy, Chris Joseph in the building. He said, nailed it, Hector. We got no identity. Every night is a mystery as far as what team we are going to get. Chris couldn't say it better myself. And shout out to the VSN Network, the Venture Season Network podcast, my man Trippy OG. He says, salute to everyone in the chat. Good morning to all. Trippy, good morning, my brother. But Phil, you said the Utah Jazz. Let's talk about the Utah Jazz for a second, right? Because they're surprising people. Name me out of our big three, out of our starting lineup, right? Can you name me someone on the Utah Jazz that our starting lineup is not better than?
Someone on the Utah Jazz?
That someone from our starting lineup is not better than?
No. Like,
and that's
to me, their best player is Clarkson. And Clarkson used to come off the bench, and now he's a starter this year. So that's the frustrating part, is that individually our pieces are better, but together they are not doing anything because we don't have any, like you said, identity or direction at all. We're wandering aimlessly every time we step on the court lately.
No, but my argument is that there's nobody on our team in our starting lineup that is better than the Jazz's starting lineup, is what I'm saying.
I do. I think Jalen Brunson's better than their
Sexton?
starting lineup. Like
Jalen Brunson's better than Sexton right now. Is having a better year than
Sexton any day.
But no. What I'm saying is, who's having the better season right now, Jalen Brunson or Sexton?
Honestly, I haven't looked at Sexton's stats too much. I know he's doing well, but
is RJ better than Colin Sexton?
I would say no, because he's been hit or miss.
Is Randall better than Sexton?
I think when he's on, yeah, he is.
And that's the thing. Who's on this team? We don't have to, wish for a situation that, tonight Julius is going to be on. You know what? Hopefully tonight RJ is going to be on, because they should be on every night. It shouldn't be, we come in every game, like I said before, and hopefully one of these guys is on, if not both. When you look at the front office, right? Let's talk about the front office for a second, right? Shout out to my man, Uncle Foxy's in the building. Foxy, what it do? When you look at the front office, right? Let's talk about the front office, right? Leon Rose. Since Leon Rose has come here, right? There's only 3 people left from when he took over, and that's Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett. Those are the only 3 players that are still here from when he first took over this team, reflipped the rosters, did whatever, yada 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 yada. Those 3 players, should we have extended them?
I don't think we should have extended Julius Randle. I think that was so premature. Like, here's the thing, is we went all in because we didn't think we had many more options, or we were hopeful that he was going to continue to be that. But the thing is we didn't have any competition. There was no teams knocking on our door to say, oh my gosh, we need Julius Randle. Like, there was no crazy demand, yet we threw a bag at him as if he was like this sought after, like, dime piece that we needed. Like, it was just crazy. Like, we acted like he was the girl we needed to take to prom. And so we threw everything into it to get him. And then next season, total flop. This season, who knows what we're going to get night in and night out. And so I don't think that was a wise decision at all. I think we went prematurely. We should have waited and seen if there was even like anybody else that wanted him, to then be like, oh, now we can lowball the offer. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, we can let him walk. That's how we should have approached it. RJ, like, it's hard because I personally am a huge RJ fan. Like, I really do think, like, even with gloves off, I feel like he's going, but I also feel like he doesn't have any direction. Like, you look at Jalen Brunson, he's starting to struggle now because we don't have any direction. Like, 1 minute we're an ISO team, 1 minute we're a fast break team, 1 minute we're a 3-point team, 1 minute we're a pass it until we turn it over kind of team. So I can't put that on RJ. Mitch, I don't think we should have really extended him. Like, as much as I love Mitch, He's barely played for us in the time that he's been there. Like, I'm sorry, we should have hung that one up.
No, I see what you're saying, and I think we got somebody from the Legion of Doom backstage. We're gonna bring in Lex Luthor to the panel. Lex Luthor, we gotta find some intro music for you, brother. Jiggaman, what is good, baby?
You, bro. I need to do it. That's it. My new background's gonna be straight kryptonite, like stash room is gonna be dope. What's up, fellas? Happy Friday.
What's up, brother?
I'm trying to be as happy as I can, bro. I'm trying to find some silver lining when it comes to this team. But the New York Knicks, we got dogged walk in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. Kevin Durant, triple-double. And this, Knicks fans, don't hate me for saying this, but if you guys saw the press conference after the game, shout out to Kevin Durant, because that's the type of rivalry we need. That's the type of energy we need from superstars. Even though he's on the Nets, the fact that he came out and said, listen, if I wear this uniform, no matter how long I wear this uniform, I'm going to troll Knicks fans. I'm going to make fun of them. I'm going to tell them to their face that it's funny that they're a Knicks fan. And that's the type of energy we want from superstars in this league. I know he's on the Nets, but hey, credit is due where credit is due. He had a triple-double. How can we stop him, Jiggaman?
Yeah, I mean, verbatim, the dude literally said, I'm always give a thumbs down or just give them some shit about being a Knicks fan. Even when he sees kids, you saw him doing it that night, right? The kid in the a couple kids in the fifth row showing off their Knicks jerseys. Yeah, I mean, it's great that it fits for the rivalry, right? But man, did he look like Kevin Durant the other night, boy. We had no answers for him. I'm going to tell you a quick story about the other night, all right?
Go ahead.
And this will be relatable, especially to people that are either married or have kids. You know when you tell yourself, I'm going to do all those extra chores today. I'm going to clean around the house.
I told myself extra day, and I told myself that every day, and I don't even have kids. Go ahead.
Yeah. But you see, this was because I was like, I'm going to watch this Knicks game tonight. You know what I'm saying? So did the extra stuff like, hey, baby, dishes are done. Laundry's done. Like you do all the extra brownie point stuff because you're like, I'm just going to sit there and no one's going to bother me. Kind of like I do for football Sunday.
Basically the stuff that needs to get done in the house. Heard you. Copy.
It was the second quarter. I was already texting both of y'all like, man, I done cleaned this damn house. To sit down and watch this, I wasted an entire day of brownie points, okay? That game. I sat there the entire time like we went into that show that day with what we felt like optimism and answers about our team and left the game with, oh my God, someone hit the alarm. What the hell is going on?
And it was literally like 5 minutes into the game. It's literally 5 minutes into the game. And, I don't know what it is, but Julius Randle decided, you know what? In this game, I'm playing one-on-one against Kevin Durant. And that's all what Julius Randle did. Did he hit some shots? Yeah. Was he knocking down some three-pointers? Yeah. Did he have a lot of bozo turnovers and a bunch of bozo shots? Absolutely. This offense was not existent. I want to pull up something real quick, and then I'm going to throw it over to Phil. But DSJ said, we have a direction. We're headed absolutely nowhere. As long as James Dolan keeps hiring these types of executives. He said it's embarrassing. He said if any fan goes to a game and the Knicks are embarrassing himself, then everyone in attendance should chant sell the team. At this point, I don't know what to do, bro. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, after that Nets game, my mind was blown, bro. Like, it was completely confused. Like, I looked at that game, and I think it was in that game. My wife even looked at me and she was like, is this even fun for you anymore? Like, do you even enjoy watching this? And I was just like, oh gosh, like this is one of those things where you like are walking in and it's such a bad sight that you can't take your eyes off of it. It's like a car accident that is gruesome. You shouldn't really be looking at it, but your eyes are like fixated on it and you can't walk away. And that's how I felt at that game. Like how once again, CJ was like, no, that doesn't happen where people who aren't really big names get their like career nights and stuff like that. That happens in the Garden. Nope, not true. Happens in the Barclays Center now too. Like it's insane. We're like we're like Santa. We take gifts on the road.
Shot for anything. Like we just couldn't. There was nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure we ended up everybody minus on that game, right? Like it was abysmal. Like I don't.
No one was looking for the right shot.
No,
it was like somebody was just punched the baby in the face. That's what it felt like. That somebody literally punched a 6-month-old in the face in front of us, and we couldn't do anything about it. That's what it felt like. The other game, watching that game, the entire game. He said, "Oh boy, that's not a good day for Jigga." LOL. After the first quarter, what the hell have I done?
for real. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to find other chores to do for football on Sunday. And then I was like, oh wait, the Jets are on bye week, so it worked out pretty good. All right?
No, look, Chris, look. Oh, I'm bringing up Chris. He said, "I love y'all, but anyone that thought we had a chance against the Nets, that may be a little too optimistic. Not that we can't win, but the expectation shouldn't be a dub." No. What it is
hold on.
We went. Go ahead.
Right,
I'll let you go.
I know what route you were about to go, Chris. I agree with you 100%. That day that we had the episode, it was, man, we could possibly pull a win if we keep up with them and play like we have been against good teams. We didn't expect a win. We were hoping for competition. We didn't even get competition. We didn't get anything. We got a stomping and a masterclass in watching the Nets just spank us. I mean, we couldn't find a shot that was worth the damn. Nobody was in their spots that they should have been in. I mean, the rotation was horrible. There was no energy. So, yeah, Chris, we agree with you 100%. We are not a show that sits here and is like, you know what, guys? I think the Knicks are going to win the championship this year. We got every piece. You know what? Tune into the Knicks Morning Brew where we give you fake optimistic bullshit. Not on this show, Chris. All right? We know Chris, the talent we lack. We know the issues we have. The problem is we've shown better than what we showed the other night. The other night was like rock bottom. It's like I want to make that game just disappear because I can't go into every show with a million more questions after that last game.
Yeah.
All right,
Chris.
I'm good.
Chris, like
I'm good. I gotta wait for the ambulance to drive by. Go ahead.
Chris, like Celso said, if you watch that show, we were hopeful that we would put on at least a competitive game. And if you look at the season, like, okay, we were gifted in that Kyrie is currently suspended. Cool. Now we have one less person that we really have to worry about. Ben Simmons. If you look at like any of the scenes from the original Space Jam where they get their powers taken away and they're just standing there like, that's exactly how he's looked all season. That's exactly how he looked in the first 2 quarters. But then all of a sudden he realized, oh, I'm playing Knicks. And all of a sudden got some of his powers back and he's grabbing it, he's dunking it, and we're doing absolutely nothing. So did we think it was going to be a walk in the park against the real good Nets? No, not at all. Did we think that we were going to be able to compete with a crippled Nets? Yes. Did we do that? Not even close. And that's the part that's frustrating and ridiculous.
Yeah, I was optimistic for a couple of the points that you guys laid out, but it's the clown show that's in Brooklyn right now, right? Like we came into that, on the last show talking about the clown show that's at the Barclays Center right now with everything that Kyrie, went through. He did it to himself, and Jock Vaughn, the new head coach, Steve Nash was fired. The owner being a abysmal owner himself. With all that going on, we thought the Knicks were going to come in there on a high horse, being able just to be competitive and win a game. But no, even with all that is going on at the Barclays Center, the Nets still came out and they dog-walked us. Like I'm not trying to be facetious or anything. The last time the Knicks beat the Nets, Kobe Bryant was still alive. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I don't want to spend an entire episode of us just complaining about how horrible we did.
Man, I hate him. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
We did horrible. We did. I mean, like, there's so many ways we can say it, right? But at the end of the day, outside of Kevin Durant being taken out by the knees, that would have been the only other piece that would have been like, all right, cool. We should definitely win this game, right? With every other thing that was going on. But we couldn't go in there with a team that has so many issues, missing pieces, major pieces, and we couldn't even compete. I mean, let's be real. To me, it was a 30-point loss, even though it was 28, whatever, something like that. It was a 30-point loss.
Yeah, it should have been 30. It was 35 at one point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Julius was the only person that put up points. He looked sloppy as can be. He's back to what pissed me off a lot with Julius that game, and I'm just switching it here, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. He's back to I had a good game the night before. I'm gonna do me, right? And those extra dribbles and jumping into bodies, like he wasn't finding any good lanes. He was trying to force everything. And I'm sorry, we've put ourselves in a situation where if Julius Randle is doing Julius Randle things in a bad way, the rest of the team reflects. If Julian's hyped up and in a good mood, then the rest of the team does it. You mentioned it last time, right? On the last episode, you and Julito were talking about the fact that when he leads, the rest of the team follows. That's the situation we put ourselves in. We can't change that. As long as he's on this team, that's the situation we're in.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to start every game with like, all right, I'm going to watch the first 5 minutes and let's see what kind of Julius we have. Because that sets the tone for everything else. And that night, he was garbage. He was trash.
I got a question to ask you, and I'll throw it to Phil first and so you chime in afterwards. But RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has not lived up to the potential of a third overall pick. It's year 4. We thought that this year was going to be the year that RJ Barrett took that leap, right, and went forward. I'm not sure if it's 100% RJ. It's the team. It's RJ and Julius not fitting together. But right now, when it comes to RJ Barrett, it just seemed like the kid has it. You know, Phil, I'm gonna throw it over to you. What's your take on RJ Barrett? Am I overlooking it? You know, am I too dramatic? What's your take, bro?
No, I don't think you're too dramatic. You know, it's like one of those things where he was so high on the draft, you know, that the expectations are that much higher. But if you look, a lot of players grew since they've been drafted, but everyone was talking about that year not being a great draft class anyway, you know. So we're not acting like we need to not act like he was top 3 in the last 2 years drafts, which had so many great, you know, players come out of it. But people were saying, it's not really that great of a draft class. And that's why he ended up going 3rd, not because he was this elite player that was going to just mind blow the NBA. So it wasn't a great draft class in the first place. Second, he's come into a team that in the first 2 years, we talked about how they do not develop their players, their young players at all. So you have a guy who's not getting developed at all, and then we're saying, oh, he's not developing. Now he's starting to develop slower than I would like, but he's also still playing with Randle, who we said since year 1 of Randle coming that they were not going to work together. And we still keep on trying to put the circle piece in a square hole and go, why does it not work? Why does it not work? Well, we've said it for 3 years already. Like, what are we talking about?
Yo, I told you, Hector. Remember the day he got his extension? And that man showed up with them cornrows to practice next day. Looked like he got the bag. He came in, and that was the day that I was like, boy, he better not let this get to his head. We're gonna be in trouble. RJ gonna get he got the money, he's in his head. Here we are, 11 games in, and you already can see that he's not living up to that potential. And I don't think it's that he's not living up to it. I think he's put too much pressure on himself already. He's scared to take shots. When he is taking shots, they're sloppy shots. Even when he goes to the hole, which we love when he takes it to the rim, right? He's looking sloppy. He's hesitating. Him and Randle together, that chemistry isn't there. It still doesn't mesh. Okay. It's I don't know, man. I mean, I think VSN said in the chat themselves, man. Unfortunately, it might be the time where it's like, yo, you need to get Tibbs and Randle to go and see what else works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because, you know, when you look at RJ, right, and like Phil said, I'm a big RJ fan. I've been a fan of RJ ever since he was in high school, right? RJ Barrett was the number 1 high school player in that draft class with him, Cam Reddish, and Zion Williamson. So I've always been a fan of RJ Barrett. But like Bone just said, he said, okay, family, let's be real. A lot of blame goes on coaching. You can't go into the half down by so much and still have the team come out and not respond in any way. No pride or no motivation. Bones. I couldn't say it any better.
There's no argument.
There's no argument. This team had this team is it seems like we have no heart. None whatsoever. And I'm not sure if it's a Tibbs thing, but it feels like Tibbs has lost the locker room. It honestly feels like Tibbs has lost the locker room because Obi's out there and Obi does something, a turnover, a charge, whatever.
Mhm.
He's in his ear, he's in his face screaming at him.
Yep.
Julius Randle does probably the same exact, if not a worse bozo move. And it's no energy for Julius Randle. You cannot run a team like that or organization. Like Jiggaman, you know, from somebody in the position that you are right now. If I'm acting up, right, you gotta bark down on me and pull me to the side, like, yo, you can't do X, Y, and the third. Because if you don't do that, Phil's not gonna have no respect for you.
Facts.
He already doesn't because you're his big brother. But
exactly. All right. You should see what he's texting me right now. Bro, you're so ugly on camera. I was like, man, we are literally doing a show right now, bro. Like, why would you text that to me and get me in my head? All right.
No, bro.
But we've talked about it, guys, right? People get to see us here for this hour, but it's us three in the text all day, right? All day long. It's Knicks talk. It's Knicks news. It's what we do. We knew we were going to go into this season complaining about Tibbs. Like, did anybody really come into this season being like, you know what? I think Tibbs is coming back a brand new man. He's going to change his coaching. He's going to change everything about himself to make us amazing. No. We knew we were getting the same man that has been coaching the same damn way his entire career with a team that doesn't fit the mold of what he coaches.
Yeah. And this is the thing, Hector. You know, you were talking about, like, you know, Bones' comment about halftime. Any sport movie that we've ever watched and we've loved through the years, you have the, like, knucklehead guys that at halftime, though, wake up and they realize, okay, I can't be this guy anymore. You got the Coach Bombays, you know, and they're in there with their Mighty Ducks. What does he do? He comes out with, like, this heartfelt, inspirational, like, I believe in you kind of thing, because he realizes that hey, you suck. Why'd you do that? This isn't right. This isn't that. Isn't going to work. Tibbs has not figured out that that's not going to work. Can you honestly even picture in your mind entering into a locker room and Tibbs talking about, don't worry, guys, I still believe in you. We're going to fight for this. We're one unit. We're a team. Like, no, don't see those words, like, even in your dreams coming out of that coach's mouth. You know, like, it would be a crazy, like, loss of identity for him for a second.
Actually, hearing you say that was weird. You know? I was like, stop. It's awkward.
So those are the kind of, like, locker room chats that actually help a team come out not feeling defeated more than they already do going into the locker room down 20. And all he's going to do, if anything, drill it home even more how much they've disappointed him. And that's not going to help us go anywhere in that second half. We look
Thibodeau started Alec Burke as the starting point guard for 61 games. If that right there wasn't the answer, that he's not the answer, I don't know what is. I do not know what is, but we got our guest back. We got Mr. Drew Austin back. I can't wait to hear the 30 trade scenarios for Julius Randle.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, the imaginary GM of the New York Knicks, the man from Red Beard Ventures, co-founder, Ninth Edition, Drew Austin. What's up, Drew?
What up?
Good morning, brother.
I'm good, guys. It's been a fucking crazy week, man. Crazy week in the digital crypto world. The FTX crazy shit's been nuts. Like, just been wild, man. So, like, I'm all over the place right now. What's good?
And then on top of that, you got to show up on a Friday morning after a loss like we just had as a Knicks fan. We're just making your week awesome, Drew.
I was at the game. I went to the game with a bunch of the Zed Run. I brought the Zed Run founders are in from Australia. They've never been to an NBA game. It's like on their bucket list. And I'm like, yo, guys, forget like going to some networking event. Let's go watch the Knicks in Brooklyn. We go to the game, and their first game ever was a 30-point fucking blowout. So that was really weird.
You see, but that's where you messed up, Drew. If you want to get brownie points with them, you should have been like, yo, let's go just watch a random New York basketball game.
There you go.
Who cares who wins? Yeah. You gave them false pretense with the Knicks.
Drew, you was better off taking them to West 4 for Dykeman, bro, honestly.
For real, dude. It's fucked up. So what are we talking about today? What's been the topics of conversation?
Well, let's start with that. I mean, was it as bad watching it live as it was for us watching it at home?
Yeah, it was just there was a real lack of effort. It felt like they just were not mentally prepared to play, which was really weird because, like, I always feel like Tibbs gets his teams ready to go. Like, I think they're always like, you could see like they play hard for him. I always feel like there's like there's been a lot of coaches that don't know how to inspire and motivate and like really get it done. And I always thought that Tibbs brings out a lot to his team. They put an effort is like at the foundational level. He says it. He's like, listen, you can play bad, you can shoot bad and still play well. And that's what he's about. So like, I thought it was disappointing to see the effort. Listen, there are games like that. Collapses happen. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to judge the Knicks based on one shit performance. But the reality is like, we just can see this now. This is an average team. And that's okay. It's like, we didn't expect us to be we didn't expect this to be an all-star game. It's an average team that's improved from last year, that has some really great pieces. I think Jalen Brunson is an absolute stud. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled he's a Knick. I like his New York attitude. He feels like he was born and raised and bred for 90s Knicks and comes here and brings that. And he's no nonsense. Like, he's a baller. I'm a huge fan. Like, my next Knick jersey might be a Brunson jersey. Like, that's how I think about it. So I think he's fantastic. I'm a huge RJ Barrett fan still. I know a lot of people are hard on him, but I still think the kid could ball. I don't think he's a number one. I think he's a number 3, and that would be a wonderful role for him to be a number 3 scorer on a team. The fact that he has to be a number 1 on this team or 2 is a problem. Randall, I think, like, Mike, I'm just giving you guys some quick opinions. I think that Randall has transformed, and I think it's for one reason. And I see this in him because I've done it myself. So he picked up meditation pretty heavily in the off season. He's like really getting into mindfulness and meditation and really like working on like mental fitness. And I really see that working. Like, you've seen him before the game, like quiet, meditating, closing his eyes, etc. And like, even in an afternoon, in a post-game interview, he like brought up the word mindfulness during the interview. So that like he dug in on like strengthening his like mental, like not to get rattled by what's going on, not to allow his mind to get like down a thread. If he can have some control over his mind and be able to catch himself when he's going down a spiral, I think that's a really powerful tool for him and his tool. That's more important than a post-game move for him right now. So like, the reality is, I think that he's doing fine. I'm happy with the performance and the growth from the last season. I do think that I don't think he's the best fit personally, but like, and I'd be very comfortable with him being traded. But I do think that I like to see the growth. Obi, unbelievable growth. Has really done a phenomenal. I mean, he's a spark plug. Fantastic job. I think one of the things that I am missing so far this year is Grimes. Grimes is completely
his
behind.
Defense.
Yeah, Grimes is just completely out of loop right now. He's just like so far behind. He missed the offseason. He comes in for 1 minute, hurts his foot again. I actually think it's the most shady injury I've ever seen. I have no idea what's going on with him. So like, and they keep throwing him in at random times, like the 4th preseason game or like the end of the Knicks Nets game. Like, dude, either play him or don't play him. Like, why are we throwing him in for 5 dump time to potentially hurt his foot again? And that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I'll send them down to Westchester so you can get some burn as well. Get resituated.
I also think that Deuce McBride should be doing that as well. There's no reason Deuce McBride should be sitting on the bench doing nothing. That kid's a baller also, or total baller. I like Fournier. I don't need Fournier. Like, Fournier can maybe come in, play 6 minutes a game, see if he gets hot. If he doesn't get hot, pull him. Like, I don't think there's any need for him in the game at all. It's wasted minutes. I think D Rose still needs his minutes. D Rose needs his minutes from somewhere. So I love D Rose. I know he's old and shit, but he's just such a warrior that I just like.
Leader, man. He's a spark plug for his team. Like, he literally.
Right off the bench. We need to be able to find the perfect minutes for D Rose. That way we could use and get the most out of D Rose every night. 15 to 17 minutes. That should be the cap. When we get later on, deeper into the season, see where the team is at record wise, and then we adjust it from there. But Drew, I want to circle back to the RJ Barrett topic before we move forward, because that's been the hot topic, right? After the last game that we lost against the Nets. Do you think, and this is from Knicks Twitter and stuff like that, I want to get your take on it. A lot of people are saying RJ Barrett is holding us back. RJ Barrett is the reason why this team is not where it's at. What's your take on that, Drew, before we continue?
I think he's an all-around offense and defensive player that is doing that can play both sides of the football, which is a rare thing in this league. I think that he's got a solid offensive game. If he's on a slump for a little while or his shot's not falling, that's fine. He's still guarding. He takes the biggest defensive challenge every game. Doesn't matter who it is. If it's a 2 guard, a small forward, a power forward, the dude just like, give me the best guy on your team. I'll guard him. I respect that. I appreciate that. I think the problem is he should be a wing player that pops threes, runs the court, drives the ball. The fact that he has to create for himself all day, every day, because they don't have a go-to. We are a DeMar DeRozan, a Zach LaVine, a Bradley Beal, a go-to 25-point a game, a Donovan Mitchell, a 25-point a game scorer. We don't have that. And like our players who are not meant to be that, Randall, Brunson, Barrett, are being forced to be go-to scorers on a team where they're not. And that's what's holding us back. It's not RJ Barrett. It's like I think I caught the last second of you guys saying like Alec Burks was playing point guard last year. That was the same. It's the same fucking issue. It's guys playing out of their meant to be role. Like if you're forced to play a role you're not meant to play, you're not going to play your best. And like that's what I see happening with RJ.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great
so
point.
here, I got something for all three of you and for the chat as well. I'm going to list 3 people, all right? Randall, Fournier, and Tibbs. And your 3 choices are fire one, trade one, and make one disappear. How you doing?
Well,
all right?
I'm keeping Tibbs.
I'm making all 3 disappear.
No, I'm a Tibbs holder, man. I think Tibbs is a hell of a coach. I think that he's not had that much to work with. I love his fucking no nonsense, no bullshit attitude. He gets a lot out of his players. His players respect him. Like you just see there's like real relationships. Like the players respect what he has to say. They don't fight back against Tibbs. He lays down the fucking law.
You see, but that's the thing, Drew. Like if you look at social media, you look at Knicks fan base, it's split right now. You got those that are looking for answers, and you got more than half saying Tibbs is the problem. And then you got others saying that it's the effort by the players, which is the problem. If you have to pick which side, I mean, are you putting on the players then?
My problem is the general management. It's the guy who's our GM who came over as an agent.
Leon Rose.
Fucking Leon Rose, man. He is an ofer since he's been here. We brought a guy in to come out who we thought had relationships, who knows how to do deals, and he hasn't done any. That's the fucking over. That's the problem here. It's Leon Rose. He doesn't speak. He doesn't motivate. He doesn't inspire. He doesn't let anyone know his strategy because he doesn't have one, and he doesn't get anything done. Now, if he's able to pull a star trade this year because he's got tons of assets, then he's validated his strategy. So far in 3 years, we can't have a team of 30 rookies. Like, what are we doing with all these draft picks? Like we're going to start throwing them away and picking Keels or whatever his name is because we just have no room for these guys anymore. So the reality is, like, to me, it's I like Tom. I like Thibodeau. I actually think he's a defensive minded, evolving coach where like this year he's like, listen, the analytics say we got to shoot threes. Go fucking shoot threes, guys. He's told the team to push more on the 3 ball. He's told the team to run more. He's listening to the data. He's listening to the feedback. He's giving the young guys some more time. Obi's getting more minutes. Quickly's knows his role. Like where, he's not forcing Fournier to play 40 minutes a game. He is evolving. Well, he loves Randall. He's going to give his Randall 40 minutes. That's what Randall's his guy. You could tell that. Rose is his guy, whatever. But the reality is that like, I don't see Tibbs as the issue yet. I think we have a team that's missing players, and it's hard to compete when you have no star. And we have no star. We have a bunch of potential stars, but we have no like go-to top 10 scorer, and that's the problem. So I'm a keep Tibbs. I'm a trade Randall. What was the third choice?
Abracadabra somebody.
Yeah.
Make him disappear.
Who was the third guy though?
Randall, Fournier, and Tibbs.
Oh, Fournier. Disappear. Randall, trade. Tibbs, I'd keep.
Okay. Right. There was a lot of rumors that came out within the last not the last couple of days, the last few hours with SGA when it comes to Shea from out of OKC.
I heard that.
What's the package that you're willing to give up for Shea? Because Shea, like you said, he's not a superstar, like you was just mentioning, somebody that can score 25 points a game, but he's a rising star in this league. But for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, what are you trying to give up, or are you even giving up anything?
What are his numbers? Can someone tell me his numbers?
I'll tell you. I'll look him up right now as you.
I'm curious what his is he a big scorer? Like, what is his
this season right now? He is averaging. Wait, let me make sure. Regular season.
And how tall is he? Also, I'm curious.
Shea right now is averaging 31 points per game. 5 assists. Yeah. Okay, 53% from the field, 32% from 3, 94, and basically 95% from free throw.
I mean, 4.5 rebounds too.
Listen, that's what we're looking for. That guy. We're looking for the two guard who can put up 30 points a game. So if it's Shea Gilgeous, then great. If it's Zach LaVine, great. If it's Bradley Beal, great. If it's
6'6",
6'6", yeah. We need a 6'6" two guard who can stroke the fucking ball. Listen, I love Grimes, but I'm okay with Grimes coming off the bench if we have that guy as our starter. And so the reality, and let Grimes back up either one or two guard or a small forward. But if we have a Shea Gilgeous, I probably would give up, 2 first rounders. Throw in a, maybe throw in a. I mean, can we get away with throwing in a Rose or a Fournier? Does it have to be quickly? Like, unfortunately, it probably does. He's probably the guy who gets left out because you can't have 17 guards. So it's probably like a quickly Rose 2 first rounds. You give a young guy an old guy, or quickly Fournier 2 first rounds. Do I do that? Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more than that, because OKC is a team that, Sam Presti, he's all about building assets and having as much assets as he can. So Presley, he's going to start the conversation, and this is just starting the conversation. He's going to start the conversation with Obi, with Quickly, with Grimes, and with 5 first-round picks. That's just starts the conversation. And then we can go from there and just add, because a young star like SGA, he's 24. He just signed an extension. It wasn't a super max, but but it's still an extension. He's not Sam Presti. He's trying to tank for Victor.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's probably more than what I was saying. Mine is like the hopeful, optimistic fan.
But if we play in 2K, I'm putting the trade overrides on, and I'm making that trade ASAP, Drew. But Phil, what's your thoughts? I want to get your take on this as well, Phil. Go back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so to answer Celso's question real quick, I kind of agree with Drew on the trade Randall. Fournier can go. I don't know about keeping Tibbs. He was just talking about, how Rose respects him and stuff like that. I want us to circle back to maybe a little later in the chat about Rose's recent interview, where it seems like him and Tibbs are no longer on that same page. And he's talking about how the last person Tibbs probably wants to hear anything from about how the team is going and the game is Derrick Rose, which is red flag central for me on how things are going right there. But when it comes to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, if you look on Facebook, off season, last 2 seasons, I've been saying we need to trade for this guy. This guy is going to be a stud. And everyone was like, he's subpar. He's subpar. He's subpar. And now we're at the point that he's proven, hell no, I'm not subpar. And it's going to cost us a lot more than if we would have went and looked at the potential. We seem to not do that very well, is see what a player could be. We wait until he actually has blown up to max potential to then be like, ooh, we should probably look at him. And then it's going to cost us the farm. So I would love to see him in an orange and blue uniform. I think he would take every single player on our team to the next level. I think him and Jalen Brunson's style of play would work so well with one another. I just think it's going to cost us a lot. And then the front office has to decide, like they did with the Donovan Mitchell trade, what's worth completely giving up and what's not. And that's where it's going to get hard.
So I was just reading a little bit about the D Rose Thibodeau thing. I think that my take on it is actually a little different. I think the reality is he's D Rose is yo, I'm 34 years old. I'm not. He's super tight with Tibbs. They both say each other. I'm reading some of the back and forth. He's I'm not bothering him. He's what does he want? He's got enough on his plate. Does he want to hear a dude who's been 15 years in the league bitching about minutes? He's my job is to help the young guys at this point. So I actually think Rose is just Rose is fuck. I mean, Tibbs is dude, what do you want me to do? I picked up Jalen Brunson. He's got to play 35 minutes. What do you want me to do? So I got Quickly. What do you want me to do? How am I supposed to fit? I only have so many minutes. How do I play Rose 20 minutes a game if it doesn't fit? So I honestly think Rose is just being a great veteran. He's not trying to shake things up. He's letting the coach figure it out. His time will come. There'll be an injury or something, and he'll get more minutes, etc. Again, I don't think it's a Rose. I don't think Rose and Tibbs have any beef at all. I think that if it is, it's getting taken out of context from what I can see here.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Jigga.
I know we're bouncing around on topics. First, Phil, you're going to appreciate this moment. You're going to go on to go back and clip it because it never happened in the existence of us being brothers.
All right.
My brother was right. That shit hurt to say. He was literally calling for SGA last year, right? He's been a fan. He says that's the guy that should be with the Knicks, would change the game. And I agree with you, Phil. It changes seeing how he's performing now. Now we're in a situation where they're going to be asking for an OB, right? They're going to be asking for a Grimes, right? They're going to want more. I do think it's going to take a lot of picks. I mean, I think it would be amazing if they settled for like 3 or 4 picks in a player, right? Something that we can say, okay, it's worth giving that up, right? The problem is that they're not going to take a Fournier, right? There's not many teams that are begging and knocking on our door for a Fournier. So I think it takes a miracle to pull off SGA, but boy, if we had SGA and we were able to roll with Obi, him, Randall, right? In that situation, I'm okay with Randall still playing. And you got JB. Like, I think you changed the entire squad adding that piece there.
Would you trade Obi?
No, everybody on this channel knows I don't care if the man goes up for a dunk, poops on the floor, and falls in his own feces. I will still be an Obi fan. All right. To me, we messed up with the Randall extension, and that's what kind of messed up the Obi transition. Right? Obi was supposed to be the truth. I am not on the get rid of Obi train.
I'm not on that train either. But if you're Sam Presti, right, and you got 2 options to choose from, and now it's going to come down. This is who they're saying it's going to come down. It's going to come down to the Toronto Raptors and the New York Knicks, right? Who are you more intrigued by? Are you more intrigued by the young players that the Toronto Raptors have with OG Anunoby? And OG Anunoby, it feels like he's been in the league for 10 years, but he's really like only 24 years old, the same age as SGA. Yeah, he's legit. So it's like, are you more intrigued with OG Anunoby or Quentin Grimes? Like that, like we really have to have the conversations. Who would you rather have? And if I'm OKC, I want OG over Quentin Grimes. That's just the truth. Now, Obi Toppin, that's a different conversation. Go ahead, Drew.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think there's a big enough difference? It's a good question, OG or Obi, or OG or Grimes, because like, is it worth us giving up another first round or more to get OG included in a trade with Grimes? Is he that much better? I don't think so. I mean, we haven't seen enough of Grimes yet to really make that decision. Like, that's like SGA, another level. But like OG Grimes, I don't know if the difference is far enough. I mean, Grimes is in second year player? Second year?
I think it's third. I think he's going into his third year, if I'm not mistaken. It's his third year. Because we didn't. Yeah, no, it's his second year. Second year.
The dude's just like, he's just getting started. So like the way I look at it is like, I don't think we know enough about Grimes yet to say that if it's not a massive leap, it's worth giving away the farm for a guy. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting I keep mentioning like the go-to scorers because like, I mean, if we look at who's the top scorers in the league, let's just actually take a look. Scoring leaders. Like I want a proven top scorer to be our guy right now. I don't think anything else really matters. Like that's the reality. Like I just don't see like Shai Gilgeous is number 5 in the league in scoring. That is just like, you want a guy like that. You get like, that's just incredible. It's exactly what we're looking for. Like, I don't know what else is available out there. De'Aaron Fox, he's doing very, very well, averaging 25 a game. DeMar DeRozan, 24.5 a game. Keldon Johnson, 23 a game. Tyrese Maxey. Like, these are the kind of guys who can put up points in bundles. I mean, DeJounte Murray, I was praying for it during the offseason. Bradley Beal, another one, 22 a game.
I mean, I think CJ in the chat, I mean, he kind of laid it out right there, right?
Because
I think he's right.
They
want picks overall.
RJ Barrett is our leading scorer, and he's ranked number 40. Like, that's fucking insane, guys. Like, how are we supposed to win that way? The 40, we are number 1 scorer.
You're muted, Hector.
when you look at OKC's roster, I'm bringing up. Oh, I have OKC roster up right here. Hold on, wait. Let me see if I could share it so we could. Yeah, here it is right here. So when you look at OKC's roster, right, there's not any veterans or bad contracts that we can take, right? They literally just have all young players. They have everybody under 24 except for two players, except for Mike Muscales and Carrick Williams, who I've never heard of in my life. But when you look at their roster, they don't have any bad contracts, right? They don't have any bad deals. So it's like picks and young players. That's what they're going to want. They may want more picks than anything because they're trying to tank for Victor. And when tanking for Victor, that doesn't guarantee you the first overall pick. So they're going to want something back in return just to make sure they secure a second option if they don't get the number one pick. So a piece like Obi Toppin, it seems like a good pairing with, if you think about Chet, because they're going to have Chet out for the entire season, right? They still got Josh Giddey. They still got some young guys. So pairing Obi Toppin next to Chet, that may be something that intrigues OKC, especially if they don't get Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, but the point is, if they do get all those extra picks, Phil, you're muted. If you get all those extra picks, then they can trade up, right? So that's their hopes.
Mm-hmm.
They tank enough, they get enough stuff. Look, if we can put ourselves in a situation where it just takes picks, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
All day.
Honestly, I love Quick, but to keep Obi, if they would take Quick and a bunch of picks, take your picks. Take Obi. I mean, take Quick and take all the picks and give us Shea. But I don't know, man. I don't think moving Obi is a good thing, especially if we all get like our dream that Randall will not fulfill his contract in New York, like to completion. We want Obi there. Like I feel like we are an energized team when Obi's on the floor. Like he's got that youthful New York, like I'm happy to be here. Let's do this. Like let's rise to the top kind of player. And I think with more minutes that he's been getting, we shared it last time. Games that he's played more than 20 minutes up until this Nets one, week 3-0. Like when Toppin's on the floor, we are doing well. So I wouldn't trade Obi. I would trade Quick and as many picks as they want.
The Knicks are 5-1 against teams that are under 500, and we are over 0-5 against teams that are over 500. The Nets are the only team that is under 500 so far early in the season that we lost to. I'll throw it over to Drew.
That says something. You know what I mean? It means that we're not a good enough team to compete with the best, but we're gonna be competitive enough to not lose to the teams that we're supposed to lose to. The bad Knicks teams of the 20 years of the past 20 years, they lost to the teams that they were supposed to beat. And that's the difference. But this is not, and that's Tibbs, that's coaching, and that's having solid pieces in place. He's not going to let us fold to teams we're supposed to beat, but we're also not good enough to beat teams we're not supposed to beat. And that's exactly where we are, which is fucking no man's land.
Yeah. Then we're literally in NBA purgatory because we're not that bad that we're gonna get the number one pick in order to get Victor, and we're not that good to beat the top teams in the league to compete for a championship. Even if this team was to, decide, tomorrow, Drew, we're gonna trade all the players that we got. We're gonna trade Randall, RJ. We're gonna fire Tibbs, and then we're gonna tank. Even if they did that, even if they got Victor Wembanyama, do we trust this front office and the leadership of James Dolan to turn it around in 3 years to put a championship team out there? Even if they was to hit the reset button, will we get a championship within the next 3 to 5 years? No, I don't think so.
We do have the assets to make a trade. So like I think there's got. I mean, I don't trust us to sign players anymore. I do not trust us to sign players. We're for a decade. So at this point, like we got to make a trade. We have to force players here.
So when we look at the landscape of the league, right? Because Anthony Davis was thrown out there a couple of days ago, right? Joel Embiid was tossed out there a couple of days ago. When you look at these players, who are we trying to go for? And you got to give up something in order to get something. So when you look at Philadelphia, right? Philadelphia, they're in a win now mode. So if you were to trade with Philadelphia for Joel Embiid, they may want Julius Randle over Obi Toppin because they're not trying to develop anybody. They want to win now with Harden, right? Now, when you pivot to OKC, they may want young players and picks because they aren't in a win. So we have to find the perfect trade partner on top of not just having all these assets, Drew, to trade with. So I feel Philadelphia for Joel Embiid. If you toss a package of Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, IQ, and picks in order to get Embiid, that may entice Philadelphia instead of Obi Toppin, hasn't proven it yet, and Julius is a proven commodity in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. I'm actually trying to look at I'm trying to look at who's at the bottom right now. Like who are the teams? Like I'm looking at the Hornets are so bad. There's no one even worth trading for. The Magic are not trading a number one pick, and everyone else is horrendous. You look at the Rockets. I don't know if they'd be willing to trade. I would love a Kevin Porter Jr. or Jalen Green. If KPJ or Jalen Green were available, because these are teams fighting as competitively as we are for the playoffs for the last place. So would they be willing to trade, one of these other players? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to see the Lakers. Do they have any pieces we would want? Maybe Anthony Davis. I don't know.
No,
I wouldn't want Anthony Davis.
What about Fox on the Kings? That thing has not gone the way that they thought it was with Sabonis. What
if we didn't have Jalen, and if De'Aaron Fox, or even if we have Jalen, if De'Aaron Fox was more consistent from the 3-point line, then yeah. But De'Aaron Fox, for his career, he hasn't been able to consistently knock down the 3-point shot. So adding somebody else to that starting lineup that can't shoot, I don't think is the right option. And listen, what Drew said about Tom Thibodeau earlier about him being a hard-nosed coach, every point that he made is awesome. But I feel in 2022, the NBA as it's shaped right now, Tom Thibodeau hasn't adjusted when it comes to his defensive schemes. Back in 2012, it was easier to guard against a 3-point shot because not that many teams were taking it. Nowadays, you have everyone in almost every starting lineup that can knock down a 3-point shot from the center to the point guard. It's a different NBA in 2012. In 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my issue, right? And we've talked about it. I'm not the fire Tibbs. Obviously, at some point this season, you'll probably get me on that train if it keeps going the way it's going. My problem is we've talked about Tibbs being the defensive genius that he's supposed to be, and we look horrific. Even in our wins, we look horrible. We cannot protect the 3-ball. Teams see that on us. The defense is not there. That's what worries me. We look great on the fast transition, right? Coming off the fast break, we look good. When we're playing decent, we look decent. But when we're not playing any defense, that's what bothers me with Tibbs. Show me the defensive leader that you're supposed to be and show our players that, because it doesn't represent that at all.
What about here's someone for you. What about a trade for Brandon Ingram?
I would love that. I don't see them doing that though.
Horrible.
They've been meshing really well over there.
Brandon Ingram has embraced New Orleans to the full of it. He embraced New Orleans so much, he changed his accent like Drake changed his accent. He has fully embraced New Orleans. The same way how Drake within the past couple of years became West Indian is the same way Brandon Ingram sounds like he's a native New Orleanian.
Yeah, and from what I hear, that was part of Zion's big desire to sign on his extra years, was the fact that him and Ingram had their future together. So I think as much as I would love Brandon Ingram, I don't see them doing that. I don't see any of our pieces being as appealing to them and what they have already there.
All right, what about it? Here's another one. I'm just gonna throw
what I would love.
Nope, keep going.
What I would love, Drew, is what if we had a season where we were talking about trades where it wasn't, and this is good because you're naming people that aren't just disgruntled employees, right? I feel like any disgruntled employee, we automatically get attached to, right? Yeah. So every conversation is, oh, what would you give up for this person? I would love a conversation of people that actually fit our system or the system we're trying to build.
Well, for example,
if you had a key player out there, Drew, who would it be?
I'm just looking at Bradley Beal. that dude is he's in no man's land over in Washington forever. They can't be building around him anymore. They got to go younger. That's a team that could be easily swayed to trade for a bunch of draft picks and young players. I could see that being a possibility. Also, Kyle Kuzma's over there as well. Kyle Kuzma could be a target over there. So, like, it's like these kind of like wing players that put up the 20 game plus that could score with ease is like what we're looking for. We just don't have that guy. Obviously we're not getting Jaylen Brown. Celtics are, but like a Jaylen Brown, I'm like each team I'm looking at here. I'm just going through some of the rosters. There's a bunch of teams that like you can see have a piece for us that we would be able to benefit from. That like I could see they're reading. Like, what do you think about D'Angelo Russell? Is he like a even an option? No, right?
Nah, I wouldn't. I want to. Russell plays no defense, and he's having the worst season from the 3-point line of his career. Somebody that may be available depending on the health of his teammate Kawhi Leonard is Paul George. If Kawhi Leonard is healthy, right, and if Kawhi Leonard is hitting the ground running, they don't make a trade for Paul George. But if it's another season of Kawhi Leonard not being healthy, if it's another season of mediocrity for the Clippers, Paul George may be somebody that's available that you could slide in at the small forward and move RJ to his natural position of shooting guard.
So, well, that's an interesting point. So then here that brings up another name, who I'm not sure what you guys think about him, but like Jimmy Butler, because if you think about it, Jimmy Butler, another one who's a veteran guy, tough-nosed player, can put up to 25 a game. He's on the Miami Heat team that is average at best right now. Pat Riley does not like mediocrity. It's either you get something for Butler now, or he gets too old and he ends up and you lose that opportunity. So like Butler is someone that like again, it's like they're a very weird team Miami right now. They're not young enough, not old like. They're getting old. They don't have a lot of like Lowry's getting old. Abadayo's not that young. Butler. Like these are the best guys. They may need to say like, okay, like this is not the team. This is not it. We're not a championship team.
And they don't have the pieces to go out there and make a trade for Joel Embiid, right? Because that's the rumors also that people have connected with the Miami Heat is them going out there and getting Joel Embiid. Well, Miami doesn't have the pieces to make the trade. And if they do make the trade, they're going to gut their team and just have Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, and a bunch of nobody. So Jimmy Butler, he could be an option, especially I like Jimmy Butler's leadership skills, the relationship that he has with RJ Barrett. I think that would be a great, relationship. Maybe Jimmy Butler can get the best out of RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett probably never has had that teammate to push him to that degree to get the best out of him. Because if you look at it, the games against Miami, right, that RJ Barrett plays, those are some of his best games that he plays. And it's against Jimmy Butler in Miami.
I hear it, dude. I hear it.
Yeah, I like Jimmy. I'd be for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously, when we do our trade speculation episode, Drew, we'd love to get you on to play GM with us.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well,
I gotta
Drew,
hear
man,
I gotta hear the other 20 scenarios.
Yeah.
we're gonna set it up in Madden GM mode and let Drew we'll see how many people in the panel will actually say yes to every Drew Austin trade. Drew, thank you so much for hanging out with us, man.
Yeah, let's just fucking get some W's, guys. I want to see a good Knicks team. It's what makes me happier than anything in the world. I want good Knicks team.
I feel you, brother. I'm the same way.
Thank you for having me on, everybody.
Of course,
thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Appreciate you coming through, Drew. Peace. It's always good to hear from the founder
we thinking,
of
fellas?
the Legion.
It's for it seems cool when you got him coming through. What'd you think? Open panel Friday time?
Yeah, if you want to do that, we can put the link in the chat. If anybody that's watching right now, you want to come onto the panel, hit that link that's in the chat. Just a few ground rules to just mention. Let's all be respectful to one another. If somebody's finishing a take, let them finish it before you just jump in and try to get your take. Of course, on top of it, let's try to keep the words that we use to a minimum. We have TOS terms of services that we got to follow from YouTube and Twitch. So let's just keep it respectful across the boards. But yeah, if anybody want to jump onto the panel, you're more than welcome to. We'll keep it rocking for the next few more minutes just to get people's takes. Let's see, Eric Wallace. If Eric Wallace wants to jump onto the panel to make his debut, he's more than welcome to. Oh, we got somebody backstage. Of course, my guy Trippy OG from the VSN. What is good?
What's good, Trippy?
Before
we jump into Before we jump into the news stuff, I want to give everybody a little sneak peek look. We got our new Knicks Morning Brew logo. Oh, how you doing, Knicks Morning Brew? Come on, take a second. Peep it out, people. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
You know, it looked like they just took like a poodle. It looks like they just took a poodle and stuck it on my face. That's exactly what it looks like. But I got somebody backstage that I want to say what up to. They've been a consistent follower in the chat whenever it's Yankees Morning Brew or Knicks Morning Brew. Eric, I see you backstage, my guy. I'm gonna bring you in because if you just could just give me a thumbs up just to verify that's you, because there'd be a lot of trolls. Just let me get a thumbs up, Eric. Give me a thumbs up in the pictures down below. Can you give me a thumbs up, Eric? Up.
Yes, no, you.
Maybe.
He's hearing us because he's backstage.
Hold on.
Oh, there you go. There you go. He wrote it out.
There you go.
There you go. Eric, what it do, baby? Salute, brother.
Building. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Chilling, dog. Chilling, dog. How are you, man? It's good to see you finally jump onto the panel, bro, one of these days.
Yeah.
Where you at right now?
I'm actually at work. I got here in a few minutes, but I want to come on here and say hi for a second.
Listen, Eric, you know, I appreciate the support you've been showing, whether it's the Yankees Morning Brew or the Knicks Morning Brew. Whenever you're free, you know, open door policy. Anytime you want to come on, bro, you're more than welcome to come on, family.
All right, bub.
You have a great day at work, baby. Later.
All right, bub.
Peace. Trippy OG, my man Pots and Pan.
Yo.
Tell me what's your thoughts. You've been listening to us, brother. You tell us what's your thoughts, bro.
Shout outs to Drew, man. He sounded like the trade guru. He brought up so many names that I totally forgot about. I was like, nah, hold up. You about to make me get back in my bag. Like, I might have to redo some of these trades I did. But truthfully speaking, man, let's be honest with it. The call is spade. Everybody that, and I'm only counting those that legitimately watched every game so far this season, because if you haven't, you really don't know. You're just speaking out your, we ain't gonna say that word, but you know, you're just speaking out your, you know what. But from what we see, we all know Evan has to go. We all know that at this point, the fact that D Rose, even though he didn't fully go in, but the fact that he even stated that you don't want to be a 15-year guy complaining about minutes, like that's not a good look, especially when D Rose is supposed to be Tom's right-hand man. So from hearing that from him goes to show back what every Knick fan thought. We really don't have a direction. We're just out here playing ball, which is it's not a good look. Big definition of why we're just mid right now. You know what I'm saying? We have a defensive coach that technically he ain't a defensive coach no more because we suck on defense. We got Johnny Bryant and Rick Brunson there. Those are two guys from, you know, that we thought about for the longest. And, you know, we know their accolades. They're nice on offense, can come up with offensive schemes. We don't see that happening. So at this point, we don't even have a coach. The players are just balling. This is pickup games every day.
Feels like it.
Other than that, you know, I do agree that we did mess up. Like we didn't know Obi was going to go crazy the way he did. We didn't know that he was going to, you know, get to the level that he is now. So us extending Randall just based off him getting us to the playoffs that one year, we shouldn't have done that. We should have never signed Evan to that 4-year deal. We should have just gave him.
Let me stop you real quick, Trippy.
What's up,
just
bro?
On the comment you just made, right? Is when we look back at it now, right? It's such a catch-22 on the we shouldn't have extended him, right? When it happened, though, most of us were happy. Not because it was Randall, but because we actually invested in one of our players that had a good season, right? So at that point, we're and I'm just really asking, like, all of you guys, at that point, we were happy, right? When we gave Randall the extension?
No, I wasn't.
I can't remember.
I wasn't.
Like, I honestly can't remember.
No. I did not want us to give us I did not want to give him that extension.
Yeah, we all seen it writing on the wall. Most of us, we've been watching the game for so long, and especially me, I played. And I can tell you that you never do that. Like, prime example, it's Cam Reddish contract year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, every player when it's contract year, you're gonna give it 110%. The thing with Randall is he got the opportunity to get the keys to the castle. So when you get the keys to a team and then it's contract year on top of that, and then on top of that, to make it even more up here, he was on the Knicks. We haven't been in the playoffs in forever. So and mind you, it was the bubble season. I wouldn't have gave Randall a look at that contract until the next year came, because we didn't have to give it to him until the following year. I would have let him rock out then to see, yo, go repeat that. I need you to repeat that. That's where we met.
Phil, I want to get your take on it, Phil. What's your thoughts on the whole Randall extension and Randall contract, bro?
Yeah, I was saying it from the get-go, like loyalty and turning a new corner isn't something you automatically believe the minute they turn. Like, you have to actually see that there's a difference. Just because that person made that U-turn for that moment doesn't mean that they are a new player, a new voice for the team. Like, it takes time to actually prove yourself. Like, he had enough time to make us all doubt that he was right for us, and then as soon as he did something good, it was the front office just forgot all that and threw him the bag. Like Trippy was saying, we should have given him some time, been like, okay, we don't have to give you an extension. And like I said, when talking to Drew, if other teams are not knocking on your door saying, hey, we're interested in Randall, that should say something. Other teams were wise enough to go, I think this is a fluke. York, we actually made it to the playoffs, but let's throw it at him. And it proved immediately after that next year, when D Rose was injured, that he was just as much of a part of getting us to the playoffs as Randall was. Because when he wasn't there anymore, we weren't that team anymore. So I think we went way too far, and we did something that is continuing to shoot us in the foot. I don't think he proved enough.
Yeah, like I said, when it came to that season where the Knicks made the playoffs, and my man Phil, he's stuck in the Matrix right now.
That hotel internet killing him right now. Boy.
Yeah. That hotel internet is killing him. But when it comes to that season with Julius Randle, when we make the playoffs, right? I was under the thought, right? I had it in my head that at the trade deadline, the Knicks should have traded Julius Randle, right? We should have treated Julius Randle the same way the Clippers treated Tobias Harris when he went off for that half of a season before being traded to Philadelphia, right? They should have traded Julius Randle, got whatever you can while his value was high, because now you shot yourself in the foot. Last year happened. What team is going to be willing to trade for Julius Randle after last year, right? Plus the contract that's attached to him. It's not the worst in the world, but at the same time, it doesn't make it easier to trade him.
I mean, that's not necessarily true, though, bro, because look at the way he's playing now. He's reshaped his game. His mental is on point. And sadly, if you look at every game, he's playing himself into a nice trade package, because out of everybody, what's the one thing you can say about the Knicks that's been consistent? Julius Randle has been consistent every game.
But my issue too, though, Trippy, is I feel like we're always we're in a situation where every team knows we need these other piece, right? So we're always at a disadvantage, I feel like, in any trade scenario that we're looking at.
We're going to always be like that because we're the Knicks. We do bad business, so we get treated that way.
Yeah, and then we get players like Fournier, we can't even sell him. We can't even give him away.
See, that's the problem.
Well,
a lot of people are thinking that we need to sell the players now. It's too early. Gotta wait to that trade deadline, because half the teams that you see that may be number one, they might be number 8 going into game 22.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not right now. It's all about what player you don't want, what players need to stay, which players are going to bring that value up, and how's the market going to fit. How do you fit?
Here's the thing, Trippy. Like, you talking about how RJ is playing consistent and building up his trade package?
No, not RJ. Randle is.
Randle. Here's the thing, though. Anyone that's watched his career knows that he is not going to be consistent enough to be a 1 or 2 on their team. So they are going to be trading him as a third piece to help their team get somewhere, which means what we get for him is not what we need. Like, we need something at a 1. We're trading him probably as a piece that's someone's 3. So we're not going to get a bunch of value out of his contract. Like, we're going to get a team that just needs something to 2 stars.
Yeah, we may have to attach a draft pick in order for somebody to take Julius in his contract, because when you look at his numbers from this season, right, and compare it to last year, they're identical. They're literally identical. It's the same amount of points per game. Last year it was 20.1 points per game. This year it's 20.5 points per game. His efficiency is a little bit better. He's shooting 46 from the field. Last year it was 40% from the field. So his shot selection, it has gotten a little bit better, but when you look at his numbers overall, they're basically identical to last season.
I mean, you got to look at it like this, though, right? Y'all look at what Phil said, and this is where a lot of Knicks fans they lose it, like they go above and beyond that way when they need to be centered right here. At the end of the day, yes, we won't get a number 1 option back. But what's the point in getting a number 1 option when our team is not constructively built to need that number 1 option that you think we need? It's all about,
because that's
what Jigga said, we playing out of position with all players. Like, number 1, when we extended Julius, that took away from Obi. But now that Obi's balling, you re-sign Mitch, and Mitch is not even on the floor because he's not available. And then now we still not playing Obi. So now we're at a point to, do we get rid of Randall or do we get rid of Mitch? Because you're not, the way iHeart is playing, you're not getting rid of him. You get what I'm saying? So now when you factor in all of that, you have to look at, okay, who's going to build their value up and what can I get in return? Well, Evan, his value right now, and this is just me, is at least 2 second-round picks and some cash. That's all he's worth right now. So you take what you get. You stockpile those 2 picks. Now you have 8 first-round picks, and now I think that's an additional 2 seconds. So now that goes from, 6 to now 8 second-round draft picks? So now collective, we have a total of 16 picks in total. Fine. So now we got 16 picks. We got a guy off. Mind you, I don't know if that's accurate. I'm just throwing numbers out there. So now you got an extra spot, but the extra spot lets you play the 2 guys you want to play. You got Grimes now.
Hold on, my fault, Trippy. I got somebody backstage I want to bring. I just want to announce them properly. I want to bring him another member of the VSN network, my man Bones, who lived across the street from me while I was growing up. So he probably stole my lunch money. But Bones, what it do, baby? What's good, bro? The BX is in the building, my guy.
What up, man? What's up with you guys, man? What y'all doing, man? I had to come in here and show some love, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, appreciate you, Bones. Appreciate you, Bones. You got that Knicks shirt on. We got that Knicks Turk talking. You know, I'm hyped right now. But Bones, let me get your thoughts real quick, and I'll throw it around the panel as well. When it comes to right now where the Knicks are at right now, because it seems like no one knows which direction we should go in, whether it's the front office, whether it's the coaching staff, or whether it's just us fans, because it seems like us fans are torn in many different directions. Bones, I want to get your take on it, brother.
To be honest, man, I don't see no fight in my team. You know what I'm saying? I don't see no pride on the defensive end at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't see my bros out there having fun playing together. To me, it looks like they're working more than they're playing and having fun. You know what I mean? That's not good, because when you got brothers out there that are not playing for each other and not having fun, that spells doom automatically. You got a defensive coach that's not even doing his job and teaching you the proper defense, because right now he wants you to clog up the paint when all the teams in the league right now want to shoot the 3 ball and want to shoot the perimeter shot anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we're doing the complete opposite of what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The boys ain't having no kind of fun. When the boys ain't having fun and they start losing, it don't matter who we lose to. As you can see, when we lose, the fan base goes nuts. It hits us hard. You know what I'm saying? So what we do is we start nitpicking and we start pointing the finger at our players. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because we get upset with some of their performances. When we gotta realize, yo, it's still early in the season. Guys like Brunson and these guys gotta find a rhythm together. You know, we got to give them time to get their rhythm to mesh together. But
Bones, do you feel like the issue we're running into there too obviously goes back to Tibbs, right? We're not getting the right rotations, the right chemistry. We're not giving them a chance to find that fire.
to me, it mostly falls on Tibbs, because after what we seen in this last game, like that was, oh my God, that was heartbreaking to see. Like you would think, like in the first half, I was thinking, all right, fine, we're getting our asses handed to us right now, okay, but we're gonna go in the locker room, we're gonna come out with some fight, and you know the second half was gonna be our half, and that just didn't happen at all. That's you don't see that in any sports, man. You don't see that in any, like in football, oh, they go in the half and they down by 10, 15. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They get motivated. They come out. They got fight to them. They fight for pride and shit. You know, like you ain't just gonna step on me like that. And we didn't see that.
If I can real quick, Bones, and my fault for cutting you off, brother. You know, you my man's pots and pans. But you know, we got a 12:30 hard stop just because I got physical therapy later. Jiggaman got a couple meetings after the show. I want to get some predictions for tonight. Let's just keep it as short as sweet as possible. Throw it around the table. Bones, I'll start with you. When it comes to Detroit tonight, give me a prediction for the score, win, loss, and then throw it over to Trippy, and then we'll circle back around. Go ahead, bro.
I expect that we get a W. You know, even though it's still not going to make me happy because we still got the same coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm still not going to be happy that we win because we still got the same coach. But hopefully the guys get it together a little bit. And yeah, I don't see us holding anybody under 100 points. So I figured 104 to maybe 112 us.
Okay.
You know
Copy. Trippy, same question headed your way. And Jiggaman, we may have to start coming up with a segment on Fridays. What will make Bones happy? That way we can start predicting the game for later on. But go ahead, Trippy, and then throw it over to Jigga.
Get a new coach, man. Get a new coach. You know,
He said it's an easy answer. It's an easy one.
Go ahead, Trippy, and then throw it over.
Honestly speaking, at this point, it's going to sound crazy. I don't expect us to win this game. It's going to shock you, but I don't expect us to win this game.
I hope we don't.
I feel like this is a game where we're going to bounce back, but then you're going to see the collapse in about the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. We lose this game by 3. Now, mind you, I'm a whole Knicks fan, and I'm saying we about to lose to the Detroit Pistons. Why? Only because after the last few games, and especially after Brooklyn, you're gonna see a lot of guys try way too hard, and it's about to get real crazy. So you're gonna see, and then on top of that, especially after D Rose made his comment, Tom is about to do mad extra stuff that he don't need to do. So I expect us to lose this game.
Copy.
And mind you, I got work in the building tonight, so I expect to lose.
Oh God, there's gonna be a riot at the Garden tonight. Go ahead, Jiggaman, and throw it over to Julito.
Yeah, I can't sit here and agree with Trippy on this one. And I agree with Trippy on a lot of stuff you put out there. All right, this one I'm gonna keep faith. And I'm gonna say we should win this game. And I hate saying we should, right? We pull away with a W tonight. I don't think it's gonna be some exciting, yay, look how amazing, what a recovery type game. I think it'll be enough to be like, damn, we struggled versus these guys. Is how we walk away with it. But I think we do walk away with the win. But it's gonna be an ugly one.
Okay, Phil, what's your thoughts, bro? Are you still in the Matrix over there? What's good?
You there, Hector?
Yeah, I hear you a little bit choppy, bro. That hotel Wi-Fi. Me personally, and I wait for Phil to come back. Me personally, I'm going with Trippy, right? I think we're gonna lose, and the only reason why I want the team to lose, stop shaking your head at me, bro. Stop shaking your head. The only reason why I want the team to lose is I do not want this team to win tonight by like almost 20 points, because then it will have the front office thinking, all right, maybe we could run him back with who we got, and maybe that we could fix it up later on down the line. I want them to lose. That way the front office
you see, but that's your problem,
to
though.
make decisions.
No.
It is my problem because I'm bald. Go ahead.
No, but I'm arguing that because why are we going to act like the front office is going to have any other like something's going to stray their thinking? The issue is the front office. The issue is that win or lose, they're gonna walk out there and say, "We own New York Knicks."
All right. I rephrase that. I want them to lose so James Dolan makes a move. Whether it's Leon Rose, Tom Thibodeau, somebody has to be held accountable from how this team was put together and how this team has been playing. Someone needs to be held accountable.
So I got a question.
Real quick, and I'm gonna throw it over to Phil for his predictions.
Everybody wanting them to lose is because you want Tibbs fired.
I want Tibbs and Leon Rose, something to happen between the both of them. And I want you to be happy next week, Bones. That's ultimately why I want them to lose. Go ahead, Phil. Let me get your thoughts for tonight's, brother.
All right. So I understand, Hector's desire that a loss would open up some eyes. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. So I don't want the loss. I feel like they're stubborn enough that it doesn't matter who we lose to right now. They have not noticed in years that their way is not the right way. I don't think a loss tonight would change that. So I'm going to say that we win 95-107. And my hope is the opposite of what Trippy was saying, that we look at the game that we played last time where everyone did have so much to individually prove, where they all thought that they had to step up to the plate for us to beat the Nets, and they wanted to be the star, and they saw how much of a crap show that was and how it didn't work for us. I'm hoping that in these last few days, they go, okay, I'm not as important as I thought I was. We need to go back to playing as a team, and that we see team play again tonight, and that gets us the W. So I'm hoping that Brooklyn was a wake-up call, not for our front office, because it wasn't, but for the team, the players individually, to actually try and play together again tonight.
Yep. That's why I said I really feel like it's going to be an ugly one, and ugly because we're playing that team, right? And we should, they're building, they're young, like we should easily handle it. But the season we're having it's gonna be a tough battle.
Quick reminder though, folks. I hope you know that according to these statistics, Detroit right now is like top 5 with they starting lineup when it comes to like points per game.
But their bench is trash though, right? I mean, we definitely win the bench battle.
Our bench is trash.
No, but that's because our entire squad is the bench. We don't even know who our starting squad is.
Somebody mute this man's microphone. Come on. Where's the ready jet button like in the cartoons? Where's that at?
Bro, ever since Cam went to the starting lineup, our bench sucks. D-Rose barely plays. IQ is tied for 6th.
But that's what I'm saying, Trippy. Our whole entire team is a bench because we don't even have a rotation. We don't even know who our starters are.
That's
so
a fact.
We got a better bench.
No, that's what he's saying. Like I when it comes to the bench from Detroit and the bench for we don't even know who our bench is.
Yeah, we don't even know who.
We may see McBride start tonight at center just because Tom Thibodeau is just a weirdo, bro. Like we don't.
It's like the Airheads. Know. It's the mystery candy. Every time you open it up, you don't know what flavor it is.
Exactly. But Trippy and Bones, appreciate you guys for jumping on with us. You guys know on Fridays, open door policy for the both of you whenever you want to go, come on. And please, guys who are watching right now, if you aren't locked in, subscribe to the VSN Network, subscribe to my man Trippy, subscribe to my guy Bones and everybody that's over there. But fellas, appreciate you guys for coming through.
Go to that website, baby.
Let's go.
Trippy, I'll holler at you, brother. Bones, later, baby. When it comes to this team, right? Fans, let's just try to see what happens tonight. Phil, Jigga, I'll be in the chat crying all night with you guys, but let's just see what happens tonight, brothers. But guys, from the guys here at Knicks Morning Brew, salute, 3 capital S's, and we appreciate you guys all. And when we leave by pressing that panic button, and peace out.
The self-destruct sequence has been activated. Repeat, the self-destruct sequence has been activated. This sequence may not be aborted. All employees proceed to the emergency car at the bottom platform.